Oh yes, Huddersfield Town. They're made of sterner stuff these days. Welcome back to the Huddersfield Town View. We have got regular Mark with us. Good evening, Mark.
Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you. And today we have got YouTube royalty because we have got for Brad Barbs, who is the number one YouTuber for Huddersfield Town across all platforms. Welcome, Brad, and thank you for joining us on Terrace Talk. How are you?
Yeah, very good, and even better after this weekend. I'm sure Mark will be, on the same page as me.
Absolutely.
Massively proud of what I saw over the weekend. And look, normally when I'm talking about stuff like this, you could play any one of the last 100 videos I'd have made, and you wouldn't have known what game it was for because he's just screaming and roaring at a camera. But it's different, and we can talk about town in a better way now. And I'm happy to be here doing that.
All right, nice one. Okay, we'll get into it then. I'm going to ask you what we're going to talk about. We'll talk about Rodini, and should he have been more honest or less honest? Sorry, and potentially we've got a red card. We're going to talk about Hogg, of course, and that decision, and of course your new manager as well. And also we've got a West Brom fan standing by to talk about the game this weekend. Mark, we'll start with you then. What was your view of the first half against Leeds? Let's break it down because I think it was obviously a game of two halves for obvious reasons.
I think Town absolutely deserved it. I mean, Leeds had one chance in first, I think it was 3 minutes. Probably you're saying someone else should have scored it, been on form like he's been. But, we've got Championship goalkeeper of the year from like 3 years ago. Lee Nichols doesn't just stop being poor, makes a good save. And from there, I thought Town dominated it. To be honest, I've not seen replay back on Sky or anything like that, but the first half stats apparently were quite in Town's favour. Leeds might have had the ball, but Town did more of the pressing. I think we made Melier at least make two good saves before we scored. In fact, three saves because he makes a good save before we actually get it back in net. And I think Town fully deserved first half. I mean, I keep going on about Brodie Spencer and that lot, and just out, absolute quality of that lad. 19-year-old. Everyone's on about Archie Gray, and we're forgetting about this young lad who's from Northern Ireland.
He's beat me to it. He has beat me to it.
And I've said over a week, tactics and all that kind of stuff. And Town are playing with such a different approach to football now. But you've taken Hull, we've taken Southampton, we've taken Sunderland, we've taken Leeds, and we've made these teams come to Galfarm, John Smith Stadium, and battle to get wins and draws. So other than the incident with Hulk, I thought Town were well-deserved first-half winners.
Yeah, I think I agree with you from a neutral point of view. I was watching it in Liverpool, and I actually thought, if you were, someone watching it and not saying who was in the top half and who's in the bottom half, you wouldn't know unless someone had told you. Brad, what was your view then of let's go for the incident then that Hogg was involved in, from where you were in the stands? What was
when you go to look at it, I think it is the second yellow. I'm not even gonna try spin that in any way. The problem I have is I think it was Bamford who's done the exact same thing on Jack Brodie, not 5 minutes later or whatever, and not a card shown. But this is a reoccurring thing now, and every fan has their own perspective on that kind of thing. But we cannot get a decision for our lives lately, and we never have been able to. Even in the limelight, you go back to Wembley, it's buried news now, but it just proof is there that even when even the small little things to the big things, we have a long kind of, I wouldn't say it's like an agenda because I don't think there's anything at play. I just think we really have a lot of bad luck when it comes to the little things and the big things because they all add up over the course of the season. I think if you're booking Hogg, you have to book Bamford. It's not one or the other. It's basically the same tackle except, Bamford's full forearms in the face of Rodoni. It's annoying, but look, Hogg's made that mistake and he has to own that because I think we go out of that game winners if we carry that second half performance on the way we did the first half. We had Leeds who's, being talking about now like the be all and end all, but they're really not because we had them shook from minute one. And yeah, they dominated the ball the second half, but anyone can against a little old town side that's had not a lot of budget put into them over the past few years. So we did ourselves proud, and I think we bounced back very well from that decision.
Yeah, I mentioned Brodie at the start of our conversation here, and I wanted to ask you both if he rolls around a bit and makes more of a thing of what happened. I think he jumped straight back up and was very honest. Do you think then the referee takes a different view of that? Do you think he actually did you a disservice by being too honest?
I thought it was ridiculous. It happened right in front of us, and I'm like, well, if that's happened in front of me and I've seen it, what's linesman doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Linesman sat there going, oh no, play on. And it just baffled me how Leeds came out of the game making more fouls and having one yellow card, and Town had less fouls and had a red and 4 yellows. I mean, Kasumu got booked for taking a shot. It's like, what is happening? In regards to Hogg's red card, it's just stupid. As soon as that first tackles happened, I said to people around me, like, Hogg's lost it. He needs to go off. He'd lost it. And sometimes he just have that red Mr. Sock. And, like, we need to bring Matos on for him. Get him off now because it's just a red card waiting to happen. And he's just got this thing sometimes where, and from where I sat, I thought it actually Kasumu who got a second yellow card to be sent off. But when I saw her walking down to him, I'm like, what's he done? I mean, you see it back. I mean, it's that way going, all you want is consistency. Nonto made 4 fouls in that game and didn't get booked once. It's just like, surely you'd add him these fouls up. Bamford, it referees here every 30 seconds, just whittering about every single thing he did. And just like, grow up, get on with game. And then you're seeing nonsense in social media, like a really well-renowned journalist complaining about ball being in play for 22 minutes and, FA should look into it and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, you write for The Athletic. What are you doing? And it's just, I just feel like Leeds got humbled by Town Saturday. I'm trying to find every excuse to complain about how Town did this and how Town did that. It's a Yorkshire derby. What do you want? A red carpet and roses? Chuffing hell, you got to get in and tackle them. Leeds are better than Town. But Town showed, and we have shown in the last 6 games, actually, we're not as crap as our league positions is saying. 14 draws or something stupid like that. We've lost nearly as many games as West Brom this season. I think we're 2 games more than West Brom, so we're going to take it to West Brom. We've already beaten West Brom. And I think our league position kind of doesn't show the real Town what we've got. But in regards to all you want, is fairness on football pitch. We've had it a couple of weeks ago when Bellingham balled it on line, which didn't get given. You could clearly see it. We've had it when that Sunderland player took out Matty Pearson and just got a yellow card.
Straight red, not even a doubt. Straight red. You don't even need to watch it again. In real time, anyone in the ground saw that it was a red. And there's not even a conversation to be had and a yellow card.
And then when it goes to Hogg, it was almost like I've been pinpointing you, waiting for that to happen, and off he goes. And, fair play to Town in the second half. The whole, your parts bus, like, well, we have 10 men against 11 men who should destroy a team like Town. But we just showed that, actually, if we'd have kept 11 men, I think we'd gone to win that game.
I think I agree.
And it's just frustrating, really frustrating. I'm more annoyed that Hogg kind of, I don't know about Brad, but ultimately, it might be a blessing in disguise for Town because Hogg, even though he's doing really well and he's 36 and he's been there 10 years, actually we need that midfield of Matos, Brodie and Kasumu, and I think that might really play into our hands against Cardiff and West Brom this week, and I think that'll work better for us and maybe kind of put Hogg into a position where we feel they'd be more comfortable coming on for 20 minutes rather than playing 70.
I wanted to ask you both about that, Brad in particular. There are lots of social media comments after the game from Town fans about Hogg, saying he cost us the game and his liability and so on. And there was a bit of a ding dong going on from Town fans saying, he's shouldn't be in the team, and other fans saying, "Well, have you forgotten that he's the one been running his heart out whilst the team's been bad?" What's your view on him as a player this season? Take away his red card incident. Does he justify his position now? I know he's a Town stalwart, but that doesn't necessarily mean he should start every game.
I don't think anyone does. There's not a player in that team for me that does, apart from Mikael Hellick. There's no one that walks into that team because as Town fans, we're all in the same boat. We all have short memories. I remember not a few weeks ago, Nichols made some howlers, and I've no shame in saying it. Chapman played in the next game, saved a penalty, and we let him down. And I said, next game, Chapman wants to start that because with the form he was in and how he was playing, given the defence he had in front of him, I couldn't fault what he'd given us. So I don't think Hogg should have started that game on Sunday. I really don't. I don't think our best team now, our best starting team, uses Hogg. Hogg would be utilised for me perfectly when we're 2-0 up. If we want to put a player in that can just slow the other team down from that 65th, 70th minute, he's the perfect man to do that. And as a manager, or in a fantasy world where I am a manager or where I'm looking at it from that point of view, he is my player to do that. But like Mark just said, that Kasumu, Matos and Radone is absolutely spot on, because you've got a Matos that can go doing the running forward, supporting Radone, and then Kasumu can do that role better than Hogg. As much as it pains us to say, he can. Kasumu has more energy. He has the hunger with tackles. Matos has the hunger with tackles. And it happened a couple of weeks ago. Hogg started at Blackburn. He's given to Wharton, who's just signed for Crystal Palace. And again, that game, Blackburn were dire. Again, Helix, pulled us out. But it just feels like it's just an uphill battle, because Town really struggle with that uphill battle. We go 1-0 down. I sometimes feel like the most we can get, even if we grind out all the gears now, is a point. And like Mark just said about the draws, about half of those draws that we did just draw were winnable games. And down to the system that Moore implemented, which was just that negative, and just, again, putting ourselves in positions, just not just on Hogg, but like I say, it all adds up over the course of the season. It's a long calendar. It's a long season, so I don't think he should have started. Has he let us down? I mean, I think he's cost us a couple of points, but it's not solely on him, because even after that, there's another world where Somerville scores that late chance, and there's another world where Sorba scores that one-on-one that he had in the first half. You can't put the blame on one player because it's a team game, but I don't think he were the man to start that. I think we want a Matos and Kasuma, and then when they got a yellow card, you bring Hogg on then, because then you've got the free hit taken and go from there.
Okay. All right, let's bring in thanks for that. Let's bring in our West Brom fan who is your next opponents this weekend. Good evening, Dan, who represents the Baggies on Terrystock. How are you, Dan?
Hi, mate. Not too bad, thank you.
All right. So Huddersfield were one of the few teams to come to the Hawthorns and take away 3 points early in the year. Now, this was a Neil Warnock gritty Huddersfield Town side back in early September. What did you make of them then? Do you remember that game?
Yeah, it was just a typical Neil Warnock performance against us. I hate that bloke all the way back from when he was manager of Sheffield United and he got the game abandoned. But yeah, I hate that bloke. And he just turned up and come away with 3 points, even with a 90th minute winner. He was just horrible.
So out for revenge this weekend against a side at a ground which you haven't got a great record on, and like we've said on your own channel, West Brom don't have a great away record. What sort of West Brom side, tell the Huddersfield Town fans here, are going to be rocking up to the John Smiths this weekend?
I think we'll come out the starting blocks firing. We might get an early goal, and hopefully we can just, hopefully sit back and keep that. But it's West Brom at the end of the day, and it don't really go to plan.
Okay. Mark, let's get some score predictions from you this weekend then. You've beaten Baggies once. You're in incredible good shape yourself. You've got the midfield choice that you want now through no design of your own. This should be an interesting game, shouldn't it?
I think so. I think what what's telling at the moment is the fact that the John Smith Stadium is back on side with the manager, with the owner. Our starting 11 might be changed quite a bit because Jonathan Ogg, in his antics at the weekend, decided to take out his own left back when they're trying to kill Somerville. So I think the tactics might be slightly different this weekend. But, you know, we've got one trip down to Cardiff on Wednesday. That could take quite a bit of energy to do. But, you know, 12 o'clock kickoff, West Brom. I think I'm kind of going to go for a Town win, just on the fact that, and I've said it a few weeks now, we've turned a corner. We are playing miles better football. We're starting to get players back into positions in, what we've not had for a while. And I think belief's back in Town. I think the belief's in the players. And, you know, we've lost 3 games more than West Brom. And one of West Brom's games was against Town. And I don't think it was a fluke. We didn't turn up. We didn't just go get the win. Yeah, fair enough, a 96-minute winner. But how many of them have you seen this season? But I think the logical part of it is saying, actually, we're on a really good form. We have scored goals. We're scoring goals. And if West Brom are turning up and are in bad away form, we'll score against them again. And I think I'm not saying I'm optimistic for a home win. I think, you know, where we're going, a home win is quite rare for Town to achieve.
Brad, same question to you. Score prediction?
I mean, I'm on a similar wavelength with Mark here, but I do feel that a lot of people, and I briefly heard you talking to Dan about this earlier, West Brom are very under the radar at the moment. And I feel like a lot of people underestimate how pragmatic Carlos Corberán can be. I've seen that. Mark's seen that. A lot of Town fans know this. And I just feel like a lot of people are ruling them out. And for me, I think the coach, that coach is 50% of your kind of foundation, really, on where you're going. And I feel like that is why we were struggling for so long under Moore. But the way I've seen him play worries me for West Brom this weekend, because we're playing good football. Had we been under Moore, I'd be expecting a tanking. I'm not even going to debate that. But the way he sets up, I think West Brom are going to be one of the 3 teams that will get promoted this season. And that's genuinely, I think one of those teams in the top 2 now, aside from Leicester, I think Leicester will dead set do it. They've been in a bit about, but I think West Brom are going to be the other one to do that. And I don't think this is going to be an easy game for either side. I'd be inclined to go with again, defensive, yeah, but I'd be inclined to go with a 1-1.
Certainly what I think as well. Before I speak, Dan, what do you, after hearing all that, and obviously you're the guy that's been up and down the country watching your team in these away games, what do you reckon?
Like Brad said about Corberán, yeah, he's come in and he's just been fantastic. He's completely turned our club around. Like, we was bottom of the league at one point under Steve Bruce. I'm glad Mr. Potato Head's gone and got King Carlos in. But yeah, I think I'm going to go for a 1-1 as well.
Okay, all right, nice one. Thank you very much, Dan. Lads, let's get your player of the month for February before we let you go. Mark, short and sweet. Who are you giving it to and why?
My favourite player at the moment for Town, Spencer. He's come back from Motherwell, and just it's literally like a brand new signing. Whatever Motherwell do, let's send more loan players to Motherwell, because he's come back and it's been great. Apart from that thing last week against Watford, where everyone's like, "Oh, Asprilla," just like, actually, he just mistimed his tackle and Asprilla got away from him. It's not like he didn't make a tackle. So, but yeah, Brodie Spencer for me. I mean, there's been Helic, Sorba Thomas and Radoni you could pick from, but for me, just for games he's played and that lot for his age and his maturity, I think Brodie Spencer from myself.
Okay, cheers, Mark. Brad?
Honourable mention for Matos, who's been absolutely superb, and the hunger from the young lads He's exactly what I think kind of matches our club values, and especially at the moment, he's proven his worth. But Mark said it, that Brodie Spencer, I do not know what they are doing up in Scotland, but he's every word he's just said, he's just beat me to it. New signing, and that tackle he did on Saturday,
Beautiful,
where he's got it, tackled it, clipped it back up, and just marched away and not a care in the world. That is exactly the kind of player that we should be. I want Kev to be having a nice meal with him at DeSandro's and getting that clipboard out. And I want to see 5 years and a big pay rise, because we've got a Premier League fan with Kev. Now, I think it's a little unrealistic. I admire his admiration. If we're going there, he has to be part of that plan.
All right.
Bottom line.
Mr. Nagel, if you're watching, you heard it here first. Get your clipboard out and get to a swanky restaurant. Listen, thanks, Mark, for joining us. Thank you, Dan, as always. And Brad, obviously, we really enjoy your vlogs that you do. Screaming or no screaming, and we'll definitely look forward to the one this weekend against West Brom if you are screaming your lungs out once more again. Thank you so much for joining us on this special version of Toast Talk. Really appreciate it, and good luck everyone for the weekend. I'll be
Thank you.
Avoiding a bet on this one. I can't predict it. Cheers. Thank you very much, all.
Cheers.
Cheers.